I like big bores, and I cannot lie. Yeah, I like big bores. I like shotguns. I like 12 gauge shotguns. This is a cool new piece that came out from Stoeger. It is called the Double Defense. Kind of an interesting defense gun. Don't mind telling you that. You know, most defense guns you may be thinking high capacity and whatnot. This one I like to think of as more of a time saver. It's actually, you grab this thing whenever you're on your way to your primary weapon, and this thing is going to give you 2 shots of whatever you want to put into it, because it will hold up to 3-inch shells. It's going to give you time to get where you need to be. Once it's broken in, and we'll get more on that later, it's going to be easier to reload pretty quick. But let's take a quick look at this. I think this is a pretty cool gun, and a lot of you guys might appreciate this, and I think you're going to like the price. With its 20-inch barrel and overall length of 36.5 inches, the 7.1-pound Stoeger Double Defense shotgun is a bargain at $479. One of the first things you think you notice when looking at these Stoeger Double Defense is the polymer stock. This is not a polymer stock. I know, I'm just as surprised as you are. This is a wood stock that was stained black. You can really tell it over here. You can see the wood grain in the stock itself. To me, that is awesome. That is such a beautiful finish, that matte black finish, matte black stain over wood. It's such a nice feel. Anybody that's kind of a purist and grew up with woodstock shotguns is going to like this thing, because it has the feel of a woodstock shotgun, because guess what? It is one. It's got jeweling on the side right here. This is kind of cool, kind of a unique look right there. Wouldn't expect that on this price of a shotgun. That's a nice little touch right there. The Picatinny rails obviously are going to lend itself to adding whatever you feel like you want to add on here. There's a number of things you could put on here. Obviously, things that make sense is possibly a defense light, or a possibly a laser if you're a laser kind of guy, a bayonet, a knife. They make knives that'll fix to these things. I'm also a big fan of the fiber optic. Fiber optic to me is the thing that makes you really be able to find your target quick, because you're supposed to be looking at that front sight whenever you acquire your target picture, and those fiber optics kind of demand that. They make your eyes jump to that optic as you're grabbing that sight. Picatinny rail up top too. Great if you want to throw an RMR on there or anything like that. You don't want it to get in your way. To me, the sights were good enough as it was, with the channel going down the middle of the Picatinny rail and then going to your fiber optic sight. One thing that you will notice is anytime that you chamber 2 more rounds and you close the shotgun, you are going to go on safety automatically. You are going to notice that. So you have to remember, if you're treating this as a self-defense shotgun and you're making reloads, then you're probably going to make a mental note that every time you make that reload, it's going back on safety, and you've got to disengage that safety before you can fire that shotgun again. Okay guys, I'm set up over here with some steel down there at 10 yards. If you're going to be shooting any kind of self-defense weapon beyond 10 yards, you might want to get a good attorney. So anyway, we're going to be trying to nail this thing. I've got some of these Winchester Razorback rounds. These are some pretty awesome slugs. So we're going to shoot those through here and see how they work out. All right, let's get her ready here. All right, here we go. Packs a little bit of a punch. Knock my steel smooth off. Let's put it up and we'll shoot this second shot. A 12 gauge rifle slug at 10 yards is very unforgiving. I don't care who you are. All right, let's try this again. See if we can keep from knocking my target over. There it goes again. Well, I guess a 12 gauge at 10 yards with that Razorback is going to do that. As you see, it's a little bit stiff coming open. With use, that's going to open up a lot. These are not going to be thrown out, so you're going to have to pull these out. But again, you're going to get a little bit more smoothness as we break this thing open and close, which we intend on doing a little bit of today. Okay, I don't think I'm going to be setting the world on fire today, because this thing is a little bit stiff to open and close. But I got to tell you, I'm confident with an over and under. I feel like I'm a little bit more accurate. So we're going to take some shots here. We're going to pick every other one of those steels out, the white ones, so to speak. And I'm going to have to make one reload. Hit 2 shots, and then I'm going to reload and 2 more shots. And let's see how it goes. I mean, again, this thing being a little bit stiff might be tough, but hey, man, the guy who breaks in my door doesn't care about that either, right? So here we go. Take off safety. 1. Okay. Crack it open. And meanwhile, the guy's beating my dog right now as he's stealing all my valuables, but I'm back in the fight. I like this thing, man. I like it, except for breaking it open. But this thing is cool, man. I mean, gosh, if you've ever shot skeet, if you're a big time trap shooter, you know what I'm talking about. And over and under, I don't know if it's more mental with me than anything, but I feel so confident with an over and under. It gives you that confidence that you're on target every single time you're aiming at your target, and like you can't miss. So I'm a big fan of the over and under. I'm becoming a pretty big fan of this right now. Well guys, I think something similar happened to us last time. Rain, we got rain out here. Those 10-yard shots were a piece of cake. Now I'm set up at 50 yards. We actually have the first bands of Hurricane Harvey. If any of you guys are paying attention to the weather at this very moment, you'll see that Hurricane Harvey is about to come in and blitz the south part of Texas. And of course, it's going to come up through Louisiana, and we are actually receiving our first bands of rain. Nothing heavy. It's just that it's that constant steady. So as that hurricane gets closer, we're going to be getting nailed with it. So I just want to point that out. Also want to point out, safety violation on my part. I am usually pretty safety conscious. It's never an excuse to ignore or violate safety issues. Those 10-yard shots that I just made, I made all those shots without any eye protection. Now I usually wear my glasses when I'm shooting because my prescription glasses are considered protective eyewear. I took them off because I was getting hit with rain as I was setting my camera up, and I didn't put them back on. My fault, completely my fault. That was not an accident. That is negligence on my part. So again, I know a lot of people think, oh, accidents happen. I don't look at it that way. Something can go wrong with one of these rounds or the gun itself and cause some problems, and it's completely my fault. So my apologies for anybody that was watching and may have seen me shooting without eye protection. I'm not going to try to gloss that over. It was my fault and I shouldn't have done it. Now, I have my eye protection now because something didn't feel right as I was setting up for this shot. I'm going to make this I'm going to try to make this 50-yard shot on this steel over there. I've got my GoPro set up down there, and you know, let's see if this Stoeger double defense can do it. I have confidence that I can, but let's give it a shot, see if I can. Okay guys, again, I am shooting my Winchester Razorback. These are actually rifled slugs. Really happy with them right now. They seem to be really effective. So I'm shooting these, and I'm gonna see how effective they are at 50 yards. Now guys, clearly, there's no guarantee I'm gonna make this shot. 50 yards, I am going to give it a whirl. Nope. I'm going to aim a little bit high. Let's see here. Not 50 yards.
Guys, this is when you take it to paper. Being stubborn can be costly.
Nope. Missed it with all of them. Well, I can't brag to you guys that I can hit this with a little short barrel, little crack barrel at 50 yards.
Another time, maybe.
Notice I'm putting this one in the top, single shell in the top. It's unlikely you're going to be getting in a firefight with this thing, but if you are, I want you to pay attention to this. That first shot comes off of the bottom barrel. Second shot is off the top. Keep that in mind, guys. Don't get yourself in a bind. You want to make sure that you're aware that you're always going to pull off the bottom first, then the top.
I spent the rest of the day getting to know this Stoeger Double D. While I'm always a big fan of anything in the Benelli family of firearms, this Stoeger Double Defense is a lot of fun to shoot when you know that you only spent a tad bit over $400 for it.
A lot of fun.
I headed home to hunker down for Hurricane Harvey with a sore shoulder and a happy heart.